a bit cold and windy. We had quite a lot of rain last night, so the underfoot is slippery to say the least, and with puddles of water. So we'll see if we can get this first treacherous section done without getting too embarrassed by falling over. Okay, so today I want to talk about morale. The elephant and the rider working together, knowing what's good for one and making sure that we've got good morale. Now, I do have a bit of a list in my pocket which I may keep referring to. I'll give you a little story to start with. 2 years ago, about this time, I'd started on the Pacific Crest Trail to walk through the desert section, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And my wife, sub-editor, as I call her, Jill, we'd just come back from 2 months in New Zealand on a holiday. I'd come back and I was looking forward to getting out to California and hiking on the Pacific Crest Trail. And I arrived in San Diego after about 20 hours travelling, not really drunk very much, so I didn't want to keep going backwards and forwards to the loo. Being an older person, that's what you tend to do when you get older. And so I'd not really drunk enough. Spent the night in my first night's accommodation, and I must have had about 20 episodes of cramp in both my calves. And as the night went on, I actually pulled a muscle in my left calf. I'd just travelled all that way around the world to go hiking, and I'd pulled a muscle in my calf. Luckily I had a day off the next day, which was going to be more of a resupply, buying gas and food and that sort of thing ready. And then the day after, I was meeting up with a shuttle which would take us to the start, which is about a 2.5-3 hour drive away. And so I did have a little bit of time to recover, but halfway through the first day I got cramp in that left calf again, and it pulled the muscle again. So on the very first day I was struggling with issues I wasn't anticipating to have. And so my morale was a bit low, and I was really high because I really wanted to be there. It was a trip of a lifetime, hiking through the desert. Then all of a sudden I got an injury and my morale was a bit low. So now, how on earth can we get around this? I'm just going to get through this mud and then we'll continue. Alright, we got off the road, through the mud and over the stiles. So I've just got my notes out. Just want to go through morale, and it's mainly affected by mood, brought on by what's happening to you personally and your temperament to be able to cope with everyday goings on in life. And there's not much you can do about that other than strengthen those things. So it's confidence. Don't want to be overconfident. That's usually brought on by lack of experience or ignorance of the situation you're going to be in. Enthusiasm for what you're trying to do I spend a lot of time digging into the details and really becoming enthusiastic about a project. I watched a video yesterday on the PCT because the season's just started, and this particular hiker had no idea where the first shops were. He knew he was going to Lake Morena. He didn't know that there was a shop there, he didn't know that there was a cafe there, and not done his homework. So morale could have been down, not knowing he's going to be able to get a pizza, a small resupply, and anything that he particularly needs. Or in my case, I needed ibuprofen just to stock up with the ones I'd been using. But I knew that that shop was there. Your mental state, your emotional state, and whether you feel joy. I'm not talking about happiness. Happiness is, if we come back to the film Kes, people in the working men's club had a few beers, the band was on and they were singing and telling jokes and having a right good laugh. That's happiness. The feeling of joy is long term. You're long term joyous about the way that your life is going, the relationships and friendships that you have. You feel joy in your life rather than just short term happiness, which is a good thing, obviously. But as you get older, you become more grumpy and less happy. Discipline. Yeah, big one. I'm pretty high on discipline, self-discipline. I can discipline myself to do virtually anything. I'm a bit of a scaredy cat at times, but I can discipline myself to do most things. And it's a mindset, a state of mind to get yourself into that. No, I'm not going to do 10 miles a day when I said to myself I was going to do 15. Unless there's a very good reason, I'm going to do 15. Now you need to be able to enjoy hardships. Again, this is experience. You know, yes, I've been through all this before. I've been cold, wet and miserable. Been cold, wet and miserable for 5 days in a row. It's only going to be next 24 hours. We can get through it. No problems. Enduring hardships and achievements. 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, I suppose it will be. I spent 2 months in the Lake District climbing all the Wainwrights in one continuous round, and every day you had a little achievement. Climbing the next Wainwright, the next Wainwright, the next Wainwright. Little achievements. You know, you get 100 kilometres in, an achievement. The weather's been bad, but you said you was going to do this and you did it, a little achievement. All these little achievements are good for the morale, good for the joy. Spirit, heart and metal. You've either got it or you haven't got it. Just switch hands. You've either got metal or you haven't got metal. You know, it's standing up to the nonsense of the elephant and the rider and pushing through. You've either got it or you haven't got it. Experience can bring that. Get out there, do it, you know you can do it. And the next time you go out, you've got that experience, you've got that metal, that state of mind that you can do it. Motivation. what motivation have you got to do it? For instance, people who are doing a long hike in the States are going to be spending 6 months. So they've jacked the jobs in, they've given up the cars, they've given up the apartments, maybe even friendships, to go and hike for 6 months in the mountains. There's no point doing all of that, spending a month out there, realising you don't like it, and then go home with your tail between your legs. Motivation. You've got to motivate yourself. Self-discipline, self-motivation will win you through. And you may need to adjust your lifestyle, because long distance backpacking is a lifestyle. It's not a holiday. And you may need to adjust things to get through the good bits, the miserable bits, and the nonsense that it will bring. Okay, friendships are a massive boost for morale. That's why you get a lot of trail families. You'll be hiking on a trail, you set off alone, and you may bump into somebody that's doing the same sort of mileage each day that you're doing, and you get together, you hike together, and you have a good time, good friendships. Mileages pass fairly quickly because you're chatting away, you're having a good time, and it boosts your morale. The Camino is famous for that. The Camino is, it's so busy that you're meeting people all the time. It's like a conveyor belt of friendships. Walking along, somebody will come up to the side of you, start chatting about something, spend an hour or two chatting, and then they'll meet somebody that they saw the day before, they'll disappear, or you'll disappear, and you'll meet another person and have another friendship. That is the great thing about the Camino. Friendships. It's fantastic. It changed my life doing the Camino. But it does wear off. That joy wears off after about 12 months, and you've got to go back out and do it all over again to get that joy back. Okay, so morale. It's an important thing. Now, it's not only for you, but you may be able to instill morale in others, like we did on the Camino. You know, it's helping you and helping another person to get through the nonsense, to help them deal with the elephant and the rider. Okay, I think that'll do for today. So until next time, happy hiking.